mine is more than 700 years old. And during this time, miners managed to extract more than 2,000 chambers and 240 kilometers of galleries, such underground tunnels. Our road is just about 1% of this mine. I hope that was interesting, of course. Because it's a very special place, we have a special rules which have to be obeyed here. First of all, entire this mine is no smoking and any open fires out here. Your own safety. Please do not touch electrical wires or devices during the way. It's not tall people friendly place, so please watch your head, especially tall people all the time. And I'd like to ask you to not touch sculptures made of salt. Salt is highly hygroscopic, our hands are moist, so we can destroy it, but you can touch everything here except sculptures, so walls, ceiling, go ahead, you can even lick, taste it, and the salt is allowed. And you can take pictures in our mine, and flash is allowed also. One more thing, we will face a lot of this kind of wooden doors, the part of ventilation. I will open it and it's called the door one by one, okay? Yes. Everyone feels good?
Yes.
Yeah? Let's start our walk by the mine. Just have a look around here. You can see here most typical salt in our mine. This is our rock salt, and they disappoint with dark, yes? Because consists a lot of microelements. That is 95% of sodium chloride and just 5% other rocks and microelements. Nothing poison. So for centuries people just crush this salt and use for eating without any purification. And this salt is better for our health because of these microelements inside. White salt is without of them, yes? And I think that you notice that we have a lot of wood here, yes? Miners use it to prevent chambers and corridors from collapsing, from caving in. Wood is the best material to use in this mine because of two main reasons. First of all, salt preserves wood very well, and secondly, iron corrodes here very fast. We have salty air in this mine. Because of that, you will see wood everywhere.
Gezondheid. Ja, inderdaad. Wacht, moeten we houden?
In front of you also statues made of salt, and they represent very nice story legend about this mine. This is a big story.
When a Polish prince called Bolesław proposed to Hungarian Princess Kinga, her father, King Bela, insisted on a traditional dowry. But Kinga came up with another idea. She knew that no rock salt was mined in Poland and decided to ask her father for a group of salt miners. She wished to find salt in Poland with their help. Without a second thought, the king presented to Kinga an entire salt mine in Hungary. The princess visited the mine on her way to Krakow. She came near the mine shaft and, surprisingly, threw her engagement ring into it. When she arrived to her new country, she requested the miners to look for salt. The result came soon. The miners discovered salt deposits near Krakow that gave Poland centuries-long prosperity. They say that Kinga's engagement ring was found in the first salt lump extracted.
According to this nice legend, salt found in Kinga to Poland, but of course it's just a legend. Salt deposit was here 13.5 million years ago. At that time, there was sea, then water evaporated, and salt deposits stay here. But the legends about real people, Kinga used to be our princess, and salt was discovered here during Kinga's reign. At that moment, this same Kinga, and she became special patron of miners here. Because of that, miners dedicated to her the biggest chapel in this mine. We will visit this chapel later. Before we move, please have a look at the corner on the left-hand side. You can see white salt over there. Yes. This is the secondary crystallized salt. And we have this salt in our mine because of water. At first, water dissolved this rock salt, then water evaporated, and salt recrystallized in different kind of shapes. Okay. The salty stalactites, miners call spaghetti. In the corridor, I came to show you cauliflowers made of salt. We have collected here a few means of horizontal transfer. At first, first miners used such slides like this one over here, later carts and trolleys were introduced. Then from 19th century, miners started to use wagons pulled by horses by this kind of railways, original railways you can see in the corridor. Horses used to walk in this mine under the ground for more than 500 years. From very beginning of 16th century, or else. The last one left the mine in 2002. Let's have a look at the wall on the left-hand side. You can see here traces of excavation, sinks or drills. From the second part of 19th century, miners started with drills and explosives also in this mine. Before that time, there's only pickaxes, hammers, and wedges, so this really hard manual work. This is also a very good place to explain how miners excavated salt in our mine for a very, very long time. They separated huge blocks of salt from the walls. You can see one block, the second, the third, and so on and so on. Then created cylinders from these blocks because it was much easier to roll this heavy stone that carried it. Small pieces of salt were crushed and put to the barrels and transported to the surface in these barrels. Most of you were construction of stable for horses, because horses used to walk in the ground and they used to live underground also. It was too stressful to horses to be transported up and down every day, then miners created for them underground stables. Miners, every single day back to the surface, just horses stay here for nights. In our mine, horses never became blind. It used to happen in coal mines because of coal dust which irritated horses' eyes. In this mine now, and after something like 10 years of working, they used to back to the surface and be retired. On the left side, you can find really huge wooden hoisting device. This is a horse gear. This device was operated by 8 or 4 horses, and to dig for one time about 200 hours to reach its method. This one is from 8th position, but the first one was using this miner was 14th floor. In this chamber was a small mechanical device, like I can show you how the device works with the first magnet. And endings of this rope are inside of the shaft. Shaft is over here from this side. At the same time, one of them is moving up and second down, always in counterbalance. So when salt was transported to the surface, wood, miners, and horses as well, lowered down by this kind of devices. Then horses change direction, and these endings of rope change direction also. So now you can see that they changed, and endings of rope. In this chamber is also a bust of a Polish king, Casimir the Great. He was the one who issued the first collection of laws to this mine. He organized everything here. It was in the 14th century. During his reign, Poland was a very big and powerful country, and that mine contributed 1/3 of total income to the state treasury. At that time, salt was really expensive, nearly as expensive as gold. It was one way to preserve food, and because of that, very good value of salt in our days. For a single cylinder of salt, like this one over here, main product from this mine, at that time, one could buy a small village. So you can imagine how important this place was for our king, yeah? Have a look at the ceiling at the wall opposite that. One more time, a lot of white salt in front of you. At first, please have a look down. In front of you, very nice chamber, and this chamber connecting the first and the second upper level. is 27 meters high. It's quite unusual because of shape. So the deposit here was really unusual. So it was white, pure and fragile. The miners scoop it manually. And of course they excavated just the best kind of the deposit. Because of them you can see very interesting chamber with a lot of nice caverns. Also here you can see another wooden hoisting device, hand closed. This one was operated by miners, not by horses. Principle exactly the same counterbalance. So you can see here drum, rope on it, and endings of this rope are inside of the shaft over there. So you can see small shaft. At the same time, one of them is moving up and stepping down. It will change direction. This ending of the This one was used for smaller pieces of salt or barrel with salt because it could lift only 300 kilograms for one time. Now we will go down. The second level. Let's have a look at the left-hand side. In front of you, original steps cut by miners more than 300 years ago in the block of salt. And miners used to up by those steps with 35 kilograms of salt on their backs. At that time, we had an artificial ventilation system here on the drainage system, and those stars were really slippery. So you can imagine how a lot of accidents used to happen in our mine. And Casimir the Great built a special hospital just for miners injured during the war. And discharge water, dislowered salt, and can discharge chamber. On the beginning, miners used just very big wooden buckets and leather bags. Later, a system of pipes and chambers were introduced. Then, from 16th century, miners started with manually operated wooden devices, similar like this one. And this one is called paternoster pump. Let me show you how this device is to work. We're on part of the right, in front of the next water pump. This chamber is dedicated mostly for youngest visitors, but I hope that you're interested in also. Those notes represent different kind of miners' activities. Miners believe that they help them during the night here. Unfortunately, no one can see them. So maybe you will be lucky, who knows, you should look for them. Bottom of this chamber was filled with brine, and as a result, artificial lake was created just for visitors. Water in this lake is fully saturated. That means that this water cannot take more salt, and because of this, it's not danger to this chamber. Concentration of salt in this water is about 36%. It's even more than in Dead Sea or Salt Lake in Utah. This water pushes you up because of concentration of salt. So no swimming and no diving in this water, it's too salty. You can find here also very big salt pillar, method of reinforcement. Miners take this kind of pillars in some chambers to protect the ceiling of the chamber. And one more time, traces of excavation. You can see now how huge blocks of salt miners separated from the walls, then cut them and created those cylinders. Behind of you, 2 pieces of salt prepared to create cylinders. And now we are moving a little bit down without the stairs. In front of you, another way of transportation. We have a lot of split levels here, and we can also transport it salt down. Let's have a look at this. Very clever idea. So, actually, we're going with salt, full, empty, we're going to up, then we took salt from this one, put to that other one, and they change. And the same, without any power yet. On the left hand side, you can find the dragon. At that moment, we are 110 meters below the surface, but still on second level. That means that we are still going down, yes? And I told you that the St. Kinga Chapel is a still active church. We have celebrations here also. People who came here just to the chapel don't go down by these old stairs. Came here by the lift and use this way strictly to the chapel. The Holy Cross Chapel. Miners created a lot of chapels here because they pray every day before they started work. They pray to survive here. Work here is really dangerous. And they created those chapels always near the place where they work. When they finished excavation this place, they took pieces of this chapel and from this piece created other one and other one, always around the place of work. In this chapel you can see wooden Our Lady with infant from 17th century and wooden crucified Jesus from 19th century. As you can see, both of them in very good condition, very well preserved by salt. Also from 19th century, 2 monks made of salt, destroyed, no details you can see. Destroyed because of humidity. Humidity is really dangerous for sculptures made of salt. And a lot of them even not exist now because of humidity. Let's have a look at chandelier. Chandelier is partly made of salt also. Those crystals is the purest kind of salt, we call it salad. On the right hand side, one more time, traces of excavation. At that time, you can see how miners by the wedges separated huge blocks of salt from the well. And now I invite you to the biggest and most beautiful chapel in our mine, chapel dedicated to the St. Kinga. Let's see it. So, ladies and gentlemen, at first I invite you to the balcony. It's a very nice view from here. Came to the balcony and stay to the balcony. In front of you, the biggest and most beautiful chapel in our mine dedicated to the St. Kinga, established in 1896 and decorated just by miners, not by professional artists.
Wow.
Two brothers, Józef and Tomasz Markowski and Antoni Brodek, decorated this place for 67 years. Every sculpture and every piece made of salt. And it's still active job. We still have services here, celebrations, for example, weddings, and also concerts of classical music because it's very acoustic place. Now we will slowly go down. I'd like to tell you a bit more about this place. Later I will give you a few minutes around.
Sorry.
At first I'd like to ask you to come closer to me, a few information, then I will give you a few minutes. Those two miners decorated this place in bas reliefs from New Testament. The first one, just by the stairs, King Herod's sentence, then slaughter of innocents. Above, nativity in the Bethlehem and baby Jesus is made of pink salt. Side chapel Our Lady, got the Father above. Fly to Egypt, Way of the Cross, and the last one on this side, 12-year-old Jesus. Opposite side, quite long, miracle in the kind of valley. Then I think that looks familiar, yes? Of course, the Last Supper, the copy of Last Supper painted by Leonardo da Vinci. And this relic is just 14 centimeters. The last one is talking Thomas. You have a look at chandelier. Pure chandelier made of salt crystals also. And floor, because actually floor is the one block of salt, cut that looks like floor and polished by visitors. At that moment, I'd like to give you a few minutes. Please around, take photographs. I'll be waiting for you by the exit. I will guard them and then we'll come. Okay? Take your time, please. you to more sculptures. Our Lady of Lord, and please have a look at the sculpture with light behind. It's getting translucent, yes? Special property of salt. And the newest sculpture here, Pope John Paul II, carved in 1999, with also white wine. At the year John Paul II canonized Saint Kinga, and mine is like to text. Karol Wojtyła visited our mine 3 times, but never as a pope. On the left-hand side, you can see memorial flags. Just memorial flags for miners who decorated these flags. So one more time, Józef Markowski, Tomasz Markowski, and Antoni Grodek. Just simple miners, regular workers here who decorated this chapel. And I'd like to ask you to turn at that moment and have a look at the reliefs on our left-hand side now. So they are something like 14 to 17 centimeters deep. It's very nice perspective. They look much, much deeper. Please keep walking and stop just by the gate. I need to count you, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This chamber is quite unusual, first of all, because of size. It is one of the biggest in this mine, more than 30 meters high, and salt was excavated from this pocket nearly 100 years. So huge pocket of salt it was. This chamber was included to the first regular tourist road, which was organized here in 1790, and visitors came down from the first to the second level by the stairs. On this platform, orchestra used to play to welcome them. At that time, ticket to the mine was really expensive, and we organized a lot of attractions for visitors. Please have a look at chandelier made of salt crystals, also the biggest one in this mine. Secondly, almost all existing method of reinforcement needs to be used to protect this place. In front of you, really big wooden construction. Behind of you, wall made of salt bricks and salt pillars. And please have a look at the ceiling. You can see a lot of spots over there. They are injection spots. This is the newest method of reinforcement used in this mine. Please be careful now, 3 sections of stairs down. Dedicated to miners carpenters, and you can find here monument of miners carpenters. Thanks to hard work of miners carpenters, we can see this mine in our life. Without work of them, everything here probably collapsed very fast. So one more time, you can find here really huge wooden construction and 2 windows like cavities with special kind of miners. At this moment, I'd like to give you a short break, something like 5-minute break. But the next one, a really long one break, will be in 15 minutes, also with shops and restaurant.
Okay.
At that moment, it's also chance to the toilet, washroom. If somebody like to use it, I will show you the way. Interested in geology, and he had a wonderful collection of minerals. He was Minister of Mining in Weimar, and visited our mine Prince of Weimar in 1790. This is the way the name of the next chamber is Weimar. This is the newest chamber in our way. It's from beginning of 20th century, and only one excavated by method of blasting, by explosives. Inside, we will listen to wonderful music composed by Frédéric Chopin, E flat major. You will see also statue of friendly ghost of this mine. Miners believe that somebody takes care about them in this place, and they call this person treasurer. So statue of the treasurer is waiting for you inside. Inside is also the second artificial salt lake, created also just for visitors. We have no natural lakes here because of that every water which one came here needs to be catch because it's too dangerous to stay in the mine, this lowered salt. So we need to create it just artificial because we need to control concentration of salt in this water. I would like to ask you to keep a left side. We need to give a passage for those. In front of your statue of Polish Marshal Józef Piłsudski, our national hero, who also visited our mine And the name of the next chamber is after Piłsudski. Lot of famous people visited this place, and from 1774 we have a visitors box here. We exactly know who and when visited this mine. In just a second we will go down, and downstairs the last one, artificial salt lake, is waiting for us with very nice talent and also nice chamber. Before that, please have a look at this construction, because you can see this construction at that moment from the top of the chamber, not from the bottom. Huge construction. You can slowly move down. That's the last one. So. Tunnel. In 19th century we organized here something like gala fair rides, and visitors could say by boat from other sides to here. Oh. At the time it was really nice. It was no electricity, just fireworks, and it was also platform with orchestra, so music was played as well. You can find here also statue of St. John of Nepomuk, patron of drumming and swimming people, and this statue is from 1829. At that moment, we are 130 meters below the surface, so almost on the third level. Congratulations! Let's do a bit more. Chamber 36 meters high, and this chamber is so high that we organize here bungee jump from this platform and the balloon flight. One time that used to happen here, and because of very special shape of this chamber, similar to that egg, wooden construction is no needed here, so we can organize this kind of things. And from this place is starting commercial of our mine, and you don't need a guide here. Your time here is no limited. You can stay here as long as you wish. Please have a look at that plan. I would like to explain you what to do now. Now we are here, and the way out from this chamber is just opposite us. Can you see this white corridor? You need to keep walking to this corridor. Is this one. On the right hand side is the toilet. Then you get to the small chamber with some shops. Then is underground restaurant. Then you need to pass really big chamber, Warsaw chamber. This is the biggest of our function rooms. We organize here New Year parties, gala boxes, basketball matches also. And finally, you need to get to this place, to the Wisła chamber, it's reception. And this place is divided for 3 sections. On the very left-hand side is exit for organized groups, not for you. In the middle section is exit to the lift, to the elevator. On the right-hand side is exit to the museum, to the technical exhibition, because you can extend the tour and visit it also. It's something like 1 hour of visiting and 1.5 kilometers of walking. Everything here is guiding, so somebody will take you to the board of these places from this one. You need to stay only in correct queue, but remember, if you move from this complex, you don't back here anymore, yes? Okay. Everything is clear? Yeah. So thank you so much for attention, and I hope that you enjoy here. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Szczęść Boże.
So the last chapel of Turizlu, dedicated to St. John, all made of wood with full chandelier again, and now about 135 meters underground, the deepest point for Restosnau mine. And now we are going to the museum, have to go about 300 meters this way. So let's go slowly and watch your steps, these are tracks. Train used in this place and this mine in 20th century. Electric battery engine, this one, about 20 minutes maybe you will see electric engine also used in this place in the past, in 20th century mostly. And this corridor is windy because of ventilation again, because now we are nearby the ventilation shaft. The same one on the first level. So it's great wind. A chamber dedicated to geology in our mine in the past. You can take a look here for a moment. Salty crystals from our mine, of course, big salty crystals. And this picture you can see 2 salt deposits in Poland. Our salt deposit is here, Wieliczka and Bochnia. So as you can see, small salt deposit, biggest salt deposit in north of Poland, really big from nowadays, big salt mines from nowadays, Wrocław, Lubień, Kłodawa, Wapno, the biggest salt mines from nowadays, not from the past, but really big. So you can take a look here for a moment. And secondary crystallization of rock salt. And please take a look. Very special secondary crystallization of rock salt. St. Kinga's hair. Very special, very beautiful. Because of humidity and wind and air. Yes, no Poland. Kłodawa i Wrocław, but that is so Poland. We stopped production 25 years ago and talking about 25 years ago. But no Poland, Kłodawa, for now it's still working.
So that's why they transform Wieliczka in Bochni, museums.
Yes, yes.
But they close the
Yes, only museum, only for visitors, not for regular production.
I don't know, you still have some place.
And block of salt called Snowman. For one such a block of salt was possible to buy a small village. Sometimes even 600 kilos. So one of big block of salt called Snowman because of shape of cylinder. And here you can see how miners try to get rid of rock salt out of walls by pickaxes mostly in the past. By explosive only in 20th century. In the past only by pickaxes in this place. Crush machine, stamp machine for crushing big blocks of salt. And statue of St. Barbara, St. Barbara and St. Kinga. St. Barbara is patroness of all miners, St. Kinga patroness of salt miners. Made of salt, of course. And horizontal transport of rocks on our mine in the past, bags made of plants, rolling the block of salt, carts, wooden carts, boxes, dogs, sledges pulled by miners and by horses, and carts on iron and wooden wheels pulled by horses and by miners sometimes. And the last horse in our mine called Baśka, Barbara, in 2001, so
21?
Yeah, 21 years ago. So, in 21st century. Yeah.
He still uses the
Yes, yeah. Tunnel dedicated to Wieliczka town, Sobor castle outside. You will see it outside in about 15 minutes today, maybe. And the most interesting in this place is model of Wieliczka from 17th century. And there you will see very big and beautiful town from 17th century because of salt mostly, because of rock salt. San Sebastian Church, hospital for miners from the past. Regis shaft, we'll go out in this shaft in 10 minutes maybe. St. Clement's Church, Solwar Castle. Now we about 135 meters under Solwar Castle's place. Daniłowicz shaft, our mine shaft, but now it is under renovation. My Market Square in Wieliczka, and Wieliczka by day from 17th century. And you can see very big and beautiful town from the past, because of salt mostly. So, horse-operated gear, Polish type. As you can see, really big machine from the past. There are two wheels, horizontal and vertical, and for 8 horses again. So, really big machine from the past for vertical transportation of rocks. Made of wood, of course, as a lot of my machines down.
Widoczne stojaki z planszami przedstawiają wystawę poświęconą niezwykłemu odkryciu, które miało miejsce w 2015 roku. W oddalonej o 300 km górze na Dolnym Śląsku. Grupie pasjonatów po 7 latach poszukiwań udało się wejść do zapomnianej kopalni o wdzięcznej nazwie Amalia. To, co zastali, przeszło im najśmielsze oczekiwania. Największe wrażenie na odkrywcach zrobiła nieskazitelnie krystaliczna woda, której nikt nie zmucił od ponad wieku oraz wszechobecna cisza.
And picture of St. Kinga in front of monastery Stary Sącz. Her husband, Bolesław the Bashful, King of Poland in the past. And here you can see 4 kings of Poland. The first one is Kazimierz the Great, who ruled Poland in the 14th century and gave a lot of privileges for miners. You can take a look for a moment. And directors of wine, our wine in the past. And the most interesting in this chamber is model of our wine from nowadays. You can see here first 5 levels. There are 4 levels more deep. So as you can see, a really big mine, about 300 kilometers of corridors in this place in all mine. Today you'll see only about 1% and about 3 kilometers. Well, for you maybe 4 kilometers because we're museum. In all mine about 300 kilometers of corridors, as you can see, very big mine. And now we are here, LED light. And Daniłowicz shaft, our mine shaft, nowadays under renovation. Regis shaft, and which will go up today, maybe in 20 minutes. And brown color is the tourist route, red is museum. So now we are on 3rd level.
Deci noi am văzut 5% din mină.
Nu la 100.
Din nivelul ăsta mă refer, dacă tu ești pe hartă. Din nivelul ăsta. Mai sunt 2 nivele la care nici n-am avem acces.
Ce crezi că 300 km și noi abia vedem 4 km?
Da.
Iată, când ați putut să răpădim.
Făceau... Tare.
Și dădeau băieții la voastră până ajungeau. Te-au confirmat?
Da.
horse-operated gear, Saxon type, this one. There were 3 types of horse-operated gear: Saxon type, Hungarian type, and Polish type. The Saxon type, Hungarian type you saw on tourist route, has been the great chamber, and here Saxon type. So really big machine from the past. This one for 8 horses. And boxes, wooden boxes for vertical transportation of rock salt, and sometimes for miners in the shaft. And you can see how horses went down in the past now mine, attached to ropes or in wooden boxes. Horses even had heart attacks, so miners built underground stables for horses because horses spent their working life down here, all working life down here. They were very thorough transportation. As you can see, very dangerous ride used by horses now mine in the past. And ropes in the past, ropes were made of plants. Iron ropes were used now mine from the 19th century. And here you can see Devil's Ride, very dangerous ride used by miners now mine in the past. Devil's Ride, when the rope went into fire, miner fall down to hell. So Devil's Ride, a very dangerous ride used by miners now mine in the shaft in the past. And chamber dedicated to salty water in this place, in this mine. Here you can see how miners try to get rid of water. Pendulum pump, when miners moved this element, that element was going up and down, pumping water. Here you can see pipes for mostly horizontal transportation process, empty inside, made of wood in the past. And salt works from different period of time, mostly from the Neolithic village. And vertical transport of salty water in wooden boxes or latten bags. Vertical transport of rock salt. Not rock salt, salty water from this place outside. This one.
All right.
Salty water. And pneumatic pump used in this place in this mine in 20th century. Original, of course, for mostly vertical transportation of salty water from this place outside. You can see how miners try to get rid of methane gas from this place, crowding on the floor with big plant before it became explosive. And oil lamps from the past, beautiful oil lamps made of clay from the past, and lamps from nowadays, mostly from 20th century. And nowadays miners used lamps like this one, butter engine, maybe nowadays more small, but like this one, butter engine.